Okay, today is May 11th, 2026. The time is 5:39 a.m. Let's get started with today's video. Alright, so I did get 101 runecrafts recently. It wasn't on video, but or on a recording rather. But yeah, here I am, runecrafting as usual. What I'm trying to do lately has been kind of like to do more stuff on the group iron. I'm not sure as to how much I already shared recently, but the group has been seeing a little less activity lately because of leaks, and that's okay. Yeah, so that's what's been going on lately. I've just been busy with the group iron, and as well as some leagues on green bussin. Probably going to do a little more stuff like on green bussin before I get set up for that leagues video that I promised a long time ago. I think it was like 2 weeks already. So yeah, I have the project in the works. I just need to get 44 runecraft on that account so I can start runecrafting for that leagues theme video. I did get the map of Alacrity, so I should be good to go in that regard pretty soon. And so yeah, that's what's been going on lately. Just been working on the leagues account in the Blue Helm, and a lot of IRL stuff that I don't feel pretty too inclined to share. But yeah. I wanted to share today what I've been reading lately, and it's called The Courage to be Disliked. That's the book title, and basically touches on like the three main psychologists of modern psychologists. I think it's modern. I think it's technically considered modern, but basically what I've been doing has been like Adlerian psychology, learning about that. It's quite different from what most people would expect to be considered psychology, but still pretty big in understanding what is going on in the world today. It's definitely a valid framework for to be looking at viewing the world, and so that's what's been going on with me lately. Just reading a book about Adlerian psychology, and yeah, and so I'm trying to understand a little bit more about Adlerian thought, and it's becoming more apparent to me that it leans toward a little bit less of a structure that kind of it's not Freudian by nature or Jungian by nature. I've still yet to learn a lot about Freud to a certain degree, but I have been like learning a little bit more extensively on Jung. And yeah, it's quite interesting. It's like assigning meaning to like this meaningful coincidences that Jung had pointed out. So it works kind of in tandem with Jung to a certain degree, in my opinion. But I guess that's beside the point because I have other things on my mind today. It's not all about Adler or Jung, but rather it is I don't know. It's a bit I don't know. It's a little distinct in the way people like how to characterize psychology and stuff. And apparently they're different enough to become standalone, schools of thought, distinct from each other, which I guess is obvious because that's why they have the association of being, just modern psychologists that kind of like helped the school of psychology kind of like learn about different approaches in life. So, yeah. My point is that it's just what I've been reading lately. Again, this is just a video journal. I've been journaling as well on paper, and I have some stuff to share, although I can't do it with as much iambic. I can't do it with the iambic vigor that I had the other day when I was having a conversation about this kind of stuff to someone that I just met. But yeah, it's and in case you're new here, this is something that I do. This is just what I happen to do. I have a lot of spare time. I like to allocate my time by surrounding myself in different schools of thought, as well as learning about other perspectives. So, basically, it's just a RuneScape themed commentary. That's really it. I'm not saying like every RuneScape player should like know about this kind of stuff, but like obviously like I'm trying to like cater my audience to like I'm learning about my audience, and I do have a plug on my Instagram which I do share very frequently, so there may be people coming in from there, overflow from there, and yeah. Anyways, it is super early right now. I thought I'd get started on the right footing here by talking about goodness. I don't know what I've been thinking about lately, but I do have most of it written down, but it's nothing that isn't particularly pertinent to the dominant narrative. But Regardless, I will try to touch on these topics that I have written down on a total of maybe like 8 pages of just writing incessantly. Probably a little cryptic as well, but who cares? I just need some time to be I just wanted to like I just wanted to like just be able to like write this stuff down and get my thoughts out there. And what I had started with was actually a few words that I wanted to use around people, just to get, their whatever the heck they're trying to like think of at a given moment. And I don't know, when so much, and I'm talking particularly in a conservative like church context. Not many people are too keen on talking about current events because of the way it makes people feel. Mostly dissatisfaction or disillusionment, I feel. And most of these things kind of like tie into the cadence of our current world and the world as we know it. And it's not always ideal to be like looking at it from this perspective because it's very limiting, being tied to just, I don't know, one cultural narrative. And I guess what I'm hinting at here is the belief that there's only one unilateral authority, and that's simply not the case. And whether or not people are arguing to say how their culture may or may not be superior to others is a question that isn't often posed in Western thought. At least I'm finding it to be. Again, like it's more prevalent now than ever. It's more. It's been propagated by kind of like, or maybe even propagandized by the information we consume on the internet. And regardless, I'd hate to say it as simply put as this, but I think it's definitely valid to be thinking like this, but it can be also very constraining, and doesn't do well but to distort the way in which we think and communicate. And yeah, I guess that's certainly something as well that I could be talking about. You'll love what I've been looking up on my GBTs lately. I hate to say it, but I do have full-on conversations from time to time in the car because like they enabled phone projection. They enabled it in phone projection, which I find really nice. But I guess it all comes in turn with like doing what works, I guess. And I don't know, to be like specifically present at a particular time. I could come up with a million ways, not a million, but a lot of ways to like gain some sort of mobility or traction in life. And one of the ways of doing that, of implementing this kind of thought, would be to read a little bit more about The Courage to be Disliked. I don't have the name of the author, but Adler has been my main focal point as of late. I did start the book probably around like on Wednesday of last week or something, Thursday. Just happened to be a book that I had rented on Kindle Unlimited. Thankfully, I did get it while it was still available on that sharing or that on that ebook subscription platform. But Adler poses some really simple questions that people who remain stuck in the esoteric language of Jungian psychology is like can be good and productive to a point to which you can like obviously conduct yourselves in the way that we are living, or the way you are living. So like if Jung were to say were to say that coincidences are used to form can be used to help form conclusions in the world while navigating it, using symbols, archetypes, I don't know, physics, metaphysics, as well deriving from using derivations of Greek philosophical thought, using symbols, archetypes, shadow work, mythic identity, word for word, verbatim is the unconscious meaning hidden beneath the surface of reality. Okay, so that's kind of what Jung says, but Adler, as we know, or as I had learned, actually, like kind of like gives you tools to like describe whether or not if you are kind of like actualizing in your life and stuff, self-actualization, that type of thing, that type of Maslow? I don't remember, but that kind of like reminded me of that. How are you living? How is your quality of life? What can you do to improve your life? What steps can you take to establish yourself in society as a productive member of society if you are able? And that's a framework that kind of like grounds me in a sense, because it allows me to understand that I am in charge of my own realities, and I am the one driving this vessel to understand the reality in which I'm in. I don't know, because like I'm just me. I know the way I think. I know the associations that I picked up, the also as well as the distortions that I have. But it's not easy to say something as simple as it is a cadence or it is a resonance that kind of requires me to exercise some sort of like patience or something with regards to like my surroundings and whatnot. I'm constrained to my current reality. I'm in my room playing video games, talking about philosophical, psychological concepts. That I can't change because I'm simply not mobile. I wouldn't want to do a blog style vlog. I want a vlogish type of video because it's just not me. I guess in that sense, Adler would kind of want to be talking about, okay, so this is your setting. What are you gonna make of it? I think that's what Adler would say in this regard. Jung would say that, oh, this is the way you set up your room or something. This is the way that we see you or your lens. So let's assign meaning to what we see given our realities. I don't know. Jung is a hard read for me, and Adler is much easier for me to read, particularly because of the commentary format style of the Adlerian thought in The Courage to be Disliked and stuff. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I don't have a physical copy on me, but regardless, I think there's still great value in like this kind of stuff, because there's this, it just is, you know. It's just very, it's they're such prominent figures for a reason, and if anything, we're using their ideas to form our current, to shape our realities, is definitely a good way to start. I don't know. I don't know. But it's certainly a good thing, because I would love to understand like what it means to be a little bit more in line with Adler's thought processes, and based on most of the prompts I've been reading about myself and the history, the browsing history, what I've been reading, what I've been looking up, it's been more in line with Adler, actually, than Jung. And basically, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to my pending freedom, which is always up in the air at the moment. Living with my parents is less than ideal, and that's one personal gripe that I have with my current reality, I guess, is that I'm still constrained to the values of my parents, because I live with them, and I do not yet care for them physically. As they become more and more unable to do certain things, they're not quite at that age yet. But I'm thankful for the work that they put in regardless, because of the ways that because of the structure they bring to my life. It's not that I'm pissed off about their existence all the time, but being around them is nice, because I'm still able to enjoy time spent with them, and it is truly become more and more of what our household love language has become, is quality time. We don't get a lot of that, though. We're together a lot, but we're not together together, you know what I mean? We're not actualizing what it actually, I love that word, actualizing, because it sounds so peak, if anything. But what I'm trying to say is that what was I saying, we're not actually talking or together talking, because we're so restrained to our own realities that we rarely step out of line with them, because we are different humans. We're unique in nature, and honestly, we're riddled with our own cognitive distortions and stuff. So we're all worried about how we are all doing as a family. Thankfully, I do have a close, tight-knit family, I guess. It may be hard for an outsider to break into this circle, but with a family as homogenous as ours, as a traditional Korean American family household, that just on the basis of ethnicity, ethnic backgrounds and stuff, we're just very, very Korean, and that's just the way that it is at the moment. That's our household, and whether or not I'd be able to fully address that is whether or not how much my audience may or may not know about a typical Korean American household. So that's really something to be thinking about, I suppose. But yeah, moving away in a completely what if scenario, moving away would certainly like change things for sure. That's kind of my goal at the moment, is to be able to be a little more self-sufficient and not rely so much on my parents, but still rely on other things like the government for healthcare and stuff. That shit's nice. That shit's really overwhelmingly nice and like a luxury that I have access to at the moment. Yes, I'm still taking hormones. I may not look good, and it may not look not that I don't look good, but it may be hard for me to be able to fully pass, but it's good nonetheless, because I'm given the opportunity to be able to do so and be able to understand who I am and explore my identity a little bit more. That shit has died out, really died out, probably in the late 10s, but honestly still is very relevant to me. It resonates with me, and that's become more and more characteristic of my online circles lately. And it's definitely a cool thing. It's definitely a very cool thing to be able to express myself in this way. And to anyone who's interested, I can still do my best in presenting myself in a positive light, because not everything is tied to my identity. It's I don't think I'm defined by my identity. It's just who I am as a person, and I think Adler ties in nicely with this, because Adler kind of argues for whether or not you are actually living, for example. I don't know. Let's see here. It's who am I symbolically is what I'm getting at, compared to am I living symbolically. It's simple word choices like that really describe these particular Jungian and Adlerian schools of thought. And it's nice to think of it as structured as it is in this regard, because I like a lot of structure. While living with my parents, I still have to bow to the whims of my parents, because I thankfully the woes of my parents and whatnot. So I don't really mind it, although it is causing me a small deal of stress and stuff. But I'm not terribly opposed to it. But I'm glad with the way I turned out, here in the state of Hawaii, and I'm glad for the way they had brought me up, because it had been so unique. It felt unique. It felt distinct, knowing that I have having gained retrospect from say high school or early college. And yeah, it's certainly really nice to be able to look back and say, oh, I'm proud of my life, the life that I had led. I am happy to be here. It's good. It's good things that really just keep me going. And honestly, I don't think I even have time to look up any information that I've written down anymore, because we're nearing the end of the video. Yeah, we're nearing the end of the video. Let me just add this to the canvas. But I have plenty more things to talk about. It's just I don't know in what format I should do this at, and whether or not I should actually upload this only upload my face and not the gameplay. So I can certainly do that. I can make a second YouTube channel or some shit. I can do something like that. But regardless, I have 10 pages of content that I need to cover. 10 fucking pages, bro. My goodness. I don't think I can do it all now, but incrementally, sure, I can. But, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be damn close to perfect if I keep it up like this, because, I, again, am really proud of myself for getting to this point. And yeah, going off on Jungian psychology in favor of Adler was probably my biggest accomplishment as of late. I have been like trying to adopt a new school of thought as of these past like months, 2 months or so, and I've noticed it's been largely Jungian, and it's been transforming very slowly into Adlerian thought. So I'm proud of myself for that. Hope you are too. I'm proud of yourself for finding this video or making it this far. Like honestly, it's really good that we're just trying to like, you know, kind of mobilize ourselves and like try to like understand the perspective of you know, these brilliant people from back in the day. And it's not because they're only just white, but like, you know, like they conduct their research from the East as well. Jung famously referenced the Taoists when he had published his work on synchronicity. He frequently references Taoism, or some known as Taoism, you know, and that's certainly a philosophy or religion. I don't know if it's a religion or psychology. Religion, psychology, I don't know. Ew. Anyways, but like, you know, like it's not all bad, because like, you know, adopting these East Asian philosophies is like nice elements of like, because like I'm beginning to see that like the silver lining in it as a young person growing up in the Western world. You know, like I was in California a lot of the time, and like, you know, for a lot of my life, but now I'm meeting people from all over, which is amazing. It's amazing. People actually leave the states from where they're from to come here to conduct like some kind of intellectual conversation. It's brilliant to me. Anyways, that's I just went off for like 31 minutes. I'm probably gonna timestamp this video so it's easier to navigate, because I did cover a lot of content. But yeah, it was good. I hope to see you all again if you made it this far. Thank you. Leave a like, subscribe. I do try to do these like a little more often. I have a new project coming up. It's going to be on League 6 accounts, and yeah, I hope to see you again soon. It's going to be very familiar, and you'll find it very humorous as to what I'm actually doing or trying to pull off here in leagues. So yeah, anyways, have a nice rest of your day. It's 6:11 a.m. The date is May 11th, 2026, and I hope you all have a nice rest of your day.